Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Rodmotive JT. All about my Jeep Gladiator and some about my wife's Jeep Wrangler. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed before, please consider clicking that subscribe button. So, my Jeep Gladiator has a vibration problem. Now, in all fairness, let me say right off the bat, this was caused by me. There's nothing wrong with the Jeep Gladiator, doesn't have a quality and reliability problem. This is a Rodmotive JT created situation. So let me take you out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Got it parked out here in the front. I was gonna show you guys, or let you hear what it is, but unfortunately, the camera doesn't pick it up. So let's get the hood opened here. It's kind of a two-handed job there. All right, there we go. I love how that pops open with these struts on the front. Awesome. Now, what I'm talking about is the cold air intake. I put this intake on because I love the way that it looks and I love the sound that I get out of it. But I believe it is creating a vibration noise, a vibration problem. Now, the thing with it is, it only happens right when I start the truck up. For instance, I'll start it up and back out of the driveway and then give it some gas, you know, because you kind of have to do that to get going, right? Give it some gas, get going, and I hear this vibration sound, almost like what you'd hear if you had a real thin sheet rather, of metal, and it kind of vibrated with something on it a little bit. That's the best account I can give you of what it is. So I've determined, because of where the sound is coming from, that it is the cold air intake, or at least the cold air intake area. And I don't know, it's kind of hard. I can't duplicate it. I mean, it could even happen if this rubber front here, or gasket, whatever you want to call it, was vibrating against the metal here. It could certainly happen there. I had thought it was the cover, you know, and that I didn't have the cover tightened down enough. Matter of fact, I even went as far as to take the whole air intake out, the cold air intake, and redo everything just to make sure I had everything nice and tightened down, right? I did that, and it seemed to alleviate the problem for a couple of days. But after that, it's come back. So I don't know if something has loosened up or not. Now, I compare this to what we have on my wife's Jeep Wrangler, I should say, in her air raid cold air intake. You guys can see it right here, and I love this intake. This is the one I would recommend if you're going for the most sound that you can get. This provides a nice grumbly voice for her Jeep Wrangler, and I actually had this one on my truck. She decided she liked it, so I put it on hers and then went with the S&B that I have out there now because I like the looks better. But I'm starting to doubt or question why I did that, and that maybe I should go back to an air raid on mine and pull off the S&B. Not because of the noise, really, but more because of the sound that I get out of it. Now, let me say that the S&B does give me a grumbly sound as well. It's just not quite as loud or as throaty as what I get, or what she gets, out of this air raid cold air intake. And I gotta say, with this one, there hasn't been any kind of issue or anything else with it. It's functioned and worked perfectly so far. Now, the one thing that I don't like about the air raid, and I've mentioned this on the channel before, is how you change the air filter. You know, the air filter is right there, obviously, this pink or red thing that you can see. But notice, there is no lid or anything on this. You just have this little window, which does screw in. But obviously, you're not going to fit this massive filter through that window. So, the only way that you can replace it is to unscrew these 4 bolts, or screws, 2 up here and 2 down there, and then pull this cover off. But you have the tubing here in the way. It's not like this is rubber or flexible, right? So you're not really going to pull this lid off without some trouble. Now, I haven't tried it. Maybe you could loosen the 2 clamps here, pull this sleeve back, and still have enough clearance to be able to pull this out. But even so, you still have to get down in here and take out these bolts to get this off. In my opinion, it's a poor design in that respect, because it's just not very easy to change the air filter. Now, you shouldn't have to do that often, but of course, that depends on what kind of conditions you drive in. I mean, if you're taking your Jeep off-road all the time, it's gonna get dusty, and you really should change or at least clean that filter, depending on what kind that you have, more often. And do you really wanna be screwing around, taking this whole assembly off to do that? I don't think so. And that's the advantage that the S&B cold air intake gives us. I mean, obviously you can see here, all you have to do to change this air filter is just remove these 4 screws, which of course are right on top, take the lid off, loosen the clamp right there, and then it just pulls right off. I've actually changed it once already, so not a big deal. But I don't know, I'm left with the conundrum of, do I want to go for maximum sound, which was probably, I don't know, 85% of why I decided to do this, or appearance, aesthetics. That's my conundrum. That's what I'm trying to decide. So I don't know what it is. Chances are maybe I just don't have something tight enough. I find that hard to believe, and that I've already taken it back off, cognizant of the fact that I wanted to make sure everything was tight and not have any vibration issues, and that didn't seem to solve the problem. Now, is that a big enough reason for me to not have this on here at all? Well, absolutely not. I mean, I love the sound that it gives, and that little vibration noise that I get on first takeoff only happens on first takeoff. You know, when I park and I leave it somewhere, if I'm running into the store or whatever, and it's all heated up, I don't have the issue. So it does seem to me that it has something to do with first takeoff and how warm it is in the engine bay. We shall see. I may tinker with it a little bit more, but I think ultimately I'm probably going to change that out for an air raid, and maybe there'll be a giveaway on the channel for the S&B if anybody's interested. Again, I don't think there's any big problem with it, probably just the installer. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Am I missing anything? Is there something I ought to look at? Have you experienced this yourself? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, if you're interested, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive Tundra, my newest channel about my hunt for the redesigned 2022 Tundra that's coming. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.